The Chicago Bears are aggressively scanning the open market to restructure their roster, but behind these brand new veteran acquisitions lies a deeply unsettling reality for our secondary. While front office movements look great on paper, the alarming news leaking out of Halas Hall proves that management is quietly frantic about the stability of our defensive backfield. We need to talk about what these urgent signings really mean, because this sudden desperation to build depth is pointing directly to a massive injury nightmare that could derail our upcoming campaign. Before we break down these chaotic roster shifts and what they mean for the depth chart, make sure to hit that like button, share this video with your fellow Bears fans, and subscribe to the channel so you never miss another breaking Chicago Bears update. The first major headline dropping right now is the official signing of safety Anthony Johnson Jr., a former 7th-round pick out of Iowa State who showed serious flashes of brilliance during his rookie season with the Green Bay Packers. The front office brought in a wave of defensive backs for tryouts, including Nazi Johnson, but it is Anthony Johnson Jr. who officially put pen to paper to join the squad. He spent a year with the New York Giants, primarily contributing on special teams, but missed the entire previous season on injured reserve due to brutal bad luck. Now, he heads to Chicago fully recovered and hungry to challenge for that number 3 safety role, setting up an absolute training camp war against established competitors like Cam Lewis and Elijah Hicks. We know Hicks is a highly reliable depth piece, and Cam Lewis is a versatile defensive weapon who can line up at outside boundary corner, inside slot, or deep safety without missing a single tackle. Adding Johnson Jr. behind veteran leaders like Kevin Byard and Jaquan Brisker, alongside young playmakers Kobe Bryant and Dylan Furman, gives this team incredible insurance on the back end. Are the Bears simply hoarding defensive backfield talent, or is there a massive storm brewing inside the training room that they are trying to protect themselves against? That brings us directly to the terrifying reality facing this defense, and we have to talk about Kyler Gordon. The fanbase has been monitoring his absence from voluntary off-season activities, but the truth is much worse than just a player taking a little extra personal time off. According to a direct report from Brad Biggs of the Chicago Tribune, Gordon is currently nursing a frustrating soft tissue injury, marking his 4th separate soft tissue issue since last August. We are talking about a devastating history of groin, hamstring, and calf problems that forced him to miss 14 games last season alone. When he is healthy, Gordon is arguably the single best nickel corner in the entire NFL, but he has failed to complete a healthy, full season in his professional career. Fellow starting cornerback Jalen Johnson has also been away from voluntary workouts, but there is zero reason to panic there because he recently got married and deserves that extra time with his wife. The real panic is centered on Gordon, whose constant limitations are exactly why the coaching staff is leaving no stone unturned and aggressively scouting every available free agent defensive back on the market. This brings us to our controversial question of the day. If Kyler Gordon cannot stay healthy this season, should the Bears completely strip him of his starting nickel role and hand the keys to our rookies? Or do we keep risking the chemistry of our defense on his availability? Drop your exact thoughts in the comments section down below, because I want to see a massive debate on this one. Thankfully, this injury dark cloud makes our recent draft capital look like an absolute stroke of genius. Everyone was hyped about our 4th-round draft selection, cornerback Malik Muhammad out of Texas, but now his presence is a straight-up necessity. A ton of draft pundits projected Muhammad as a lock for the 3rd round, so getting his elite versatility and relentless, chip-on-the-shoulder mentality in the 4th round was a total steal. Muhammad is a certified playmaker who is going to immediately push Tyreek Stevenson on the outside boundary during training camp. If Gordon's body continues to fail him, this coaching staff will be forced to shuffle the entire secondary around, and Muhammad has the elite traits to step up to the plate and stabilize the defense from day one. The frantic roster shuffling did not stop on the defensive side of the ball either, as the front office just executed a fascinating swap in the running back room. The team officially signed veteran running back Salvon Ahmed, and in a corresponding roster move, Deion Hankins has been released from the team. Ahmed is entering training camp with a massive point to prove after an incredibly brutal stretch of bad luck. While competing in training camp with the Indianapolis Colts last year, A teammate brought him down using an illegal hip drop tackle, triggering a gruesome ankle injury that completely ended his season. Luckily, it did not cost him his career, and now he arrives in the Windy City looking to completely rebuild his stock. Our running backs coach, Eric Studesville, knows exactly what Ahmed brings to the table because they spent significant time together down in Miami. Studesville explicitly stated via Clocker Sports that Ahmed is moving incredibly well, has completely recovered from that devastating ankle injury, and represents a vital piece of the puzzle for a team that does not yet know what pieces they will need down the stretch. When you rewind the tape to Ahmed's early days with the Miami Dolphins back in 2020, he flashed serious potential, racking up 319 rushing yards and 3 touchdowns while proving he can be an asset in the passing game with 11 receptions. His production dipped in subsequent years as he was buried on the depth chart behind guys like Myles Gaskin, Raheem Mostert, and the explosive Devon Achane. Ahmed is not the biggest back at 5 feet 10 inches and 197 pounds, and his official 4.6-second 40-yard dash is likely why he went undrafted coming out of Washington, where he logged a 1,000-yard rushing season. But when you turn on the actual game film, his short area burst completely defies that stopwatch time. He possesses an elite initial gear that lets him slash through a tiny crease and instantly turn a simple 4-yard look into an explosive 40-yard chunk play, combining tough running with capable hands out of the backfield. Ahmed is stepping directly into a wide-open, chaotic competition for the highly coveted number 3 running back spot. We all know that the dynamic duo of DeAndre Swift and Kyle Monangai is completely locked in after both playmakers absolutely shredded defenses last year under head coach Ben Johnson. But behind them, the depth chart is completely up for grabs. Ahmed will have to battle it out with Britton Brown, who has shown flashes of power exclusively in preseason games, alongside Coleman Bennett. Personally, Bennett is the player I have my eye on as the primary contender to secure this roster spot. As an undrafted free agent out of Kennesaw State, Bennett checks every single box that Ben Johnson looks for in a dynamic running back, and he could easily evolve into a long-term platoon player given that Swift will not be in Chicago forever. This intense level of competition means guys like Roscoe Johnson are guaranteed absolutely nothing, and this could very well be the year Roscoe is sent packing because he simply has not shown the traits to be the definitive answer in this backfield. At the end of the day, elite roster competition is exactly how a franchise transitions from good to great, and whether we are talking about the depth in the safety room or the battle for the final running back spot, these moves are making the roster incredibly gritty. The Kyler Gordon injury situation remains a deeply discouraging cloud hanging over this defense, but we have to trust the depth being built. Let me know your thoughts on these moves, bear down, and I will see you all right here tomorrow.